Guys, Band-Maid fans, puzzle, Mission Impossible here, guys. Oh man, you had to tell me. It is almost impossible to find live puzzle, this song. And it is difficult. I found something, I hope it is okay, this one. Live in Bochum, Zech, Germany, I think. But even more difficult is to find Band-Maid acoustic, so I will use a reaction to this one. You didn't send me the file. So, 3, 2, 1, Band-Maid Puzzle, starting from the live. I'm ready, ragazzi, ciao! Missione impossibile, trovare il live di puzzle di questa canzone sembra introvabile anche nel loro canale ufficiale YouTube. Quella acustica poi, devo usare un video reazione per ascoltarmela, ma mi voglio accontentare. Poi ragazzi, nei vostri commenti mi aiuterete a trovare il link. Go! Oh man! Oh man! Come on guys, this is live but I can't really heard nothing, so waiting for your link, I go to the acoustic version. I react with this red hair girl here. Australia and Italy connected. Oh, it sounds like a xylophone. You know what I mean? Cool. Here they comes. And it sounds like a clarion also. Here we are guys, acoustic guitar. So here they comes. I wanna listen again this intro with the acoustic guitar. Nice. Nice!
Hajimemashite no sonna hitokoto de puzzle piece ga hamaru oto ga shita. Dakedo kitto kimi wa oboete nai. Butterfly with me. 憂鬱な海の中光差し込む一発くれたんだ無邪気な笑顔でそのままでいいと叶わない恋でも何番だって構わないからさねえそんなの嘘だよ見えない知らない苦しいだけだよだけど知りたい渇望に抵抗できない今だけでいい
Guys, if you are maniacs like me, maniacs, is dedicated to you, maniacs. She is so undressed, guys. Oh man, for an healthy man, it's difficult to go forward to this reaction. She is so undressed. I can see well her legs. Forward, please. Oh, nice singing. Nice legs.
Oh, this is beautiful. I mean, I get this feeling of like longing and pain in the way that Psyche's delivering those vocals, not just from her facial expression, but also the singing itself. There are times where, yes, she might be gasping for air, or there's a little bit of a breakage to the sound, but to be honest, that makes it seem more emotional to me. And I'm going to look up the English translation afterwards. So this feeling that I have might be wrong. Maybe we'll look up halfway through. But at the moment, I'm getting this feeling of, yeah, there's this feeling of longing in the music, in the melody as well. But maybe that's just because of the way that it was also set up with the toy piano sounds in the beginning. I actually found that really relaxing, but it does make me think of, it's a very lonely sound when it's played by itself. I don't know, I just get that feeling of it's like this pure, bright tonal quality from the toy piano, and it's just echoing out into nothing like this tiny little precious sound, but there's nothing else around it. So I get this feeling of it almost being like a lonely feeling, and matching that with her current vocal approach, I get a strong sense of longing in this particular song. And I don't quite know how that fits in with the concept of puzzle. Maybe when I look at the lyrics, that will illuminate itself a little bit more. But for now, few things that I just want to chat on vocally. But before I dive on into breaking down Psyche's vocals, I just want to quickly mention Kanami's backup singing. She's done a really lovely job of holding those sustains there. It's perfectly balanced, and I feel like we get the benefit of their harmonization there with her playing the acoustic guitar. I mean, I know that it's amplified and it's plugged in, so it's not really acoustic, but you get a different timbre from a guitar that is built the way the one she's playing is actually built, where you still have the benefit of there being like that resonating cavity, that like drum like space behind the strings, compared to your pure electric guitar. The timbre is just slightly different. I'm pretty certain she's playing steel. I don't get nylon string timbre whatsoever in her playing. Could be wrong, but I think it sounds really cool, the fact that they've chosen to use an acoustic guitar for this kind of sound. I think I've mentioned in a video before, I find it to come across as a little bit more intimate sounding when it's just a vocalist and one instrument, or a vocalist and only a few instruments, and it's kind of stripped back in that way. Anyway, moving past those backing vocals, lovely sustain, onto Psyche's singing. So she opened with something that was actually really well connected. It had quite a bit of flow in between each of the vowels. And then as it kept going and the phrasing became a little bit more hectic, the sound started to tense up. So let's...
As a reaction to a reaction, as a maniac myself, I'm also interested to other singers and musicians' reactions. And I was not able to find this link by myself, so I need to react to this girl. And it is not polite to stop her while she is talking about the song.
Have a little listen to that.
初めましてのそんな一言でパズルピースがはまる音がした
Personally, I don't feel the loneliness she's feeling. I feel chills and goosebumps. Personally, I am into it.
だけどきっと君は覚えてない
Yeah, so beautiful connectivity through the vowel work. We have a little bit of like a harsher onset onto those consonants, but for the most part, it's actually fairly well connected. I quite like it as the setup for the song, because if you hit it with constriction from the get-go, just for my personal listening tastes, I like something that is a little bit open. It doesn't have to be all the time, but it's just a nice way to invite the ears into being like, what's going to happen?
I don't agree so much. Actually, I'm enjoying both guitar, acoustic guitar and singing in a huge way. And the melody of the song is finally winner, because You know, Band-Maid is a very, very cool as hell band. But sometimes in all these Japanese bands, also Love Bites, all up and down melody, up and down with the voice. Not for me extraordinary, gorgeous melodies of the voice, of the vocals. This time I really like the melody.
So I like that she opened with that, but as we progress, we start to get a little bit more compressed. There's a little bit more constriction in the sound.
なんて構わないからさねえそんなの嘘だよ見えない知らない苦しいだけだよだけど知りたい渇望に
I personally don't agree because I think she's trying her best to insert this little kind of falsetto while she is increasing her level of singing, and it is not easy to sit down and sing this song that way. She's doing a great job for me. Of course, she's not a diaphragma singer, but I appreciate.
抵抗できない今だけでいいから侵食されてゆけ声に出す
Beautiful. Okay, so diving on into there,
It is.
you have the strength of the sound that she's using because there is constriction, a bit of press in that particular sound. It comes across as sounding like, it's like, look at that facial expression. Even just what we've paused on there, it sounds like her heart is breaking. I'm going to feel like such a doofus if I look at those lyrics and that's not what it's about. But this is the feeling that I'm getting when I'm looking at her facial expressions and listening to her singing paired with the music. Anyway, so you could hear through that passage there, she started to become a little bit more tight, particularly around the vowels. The consonants, I wouldn't say became any more pressed than what they were before, but the vowels became quite heavy. And when you're trying to do heavier sounds and then release into sort of a softer mechanism, her softer mechanisms are breaking slightly. I don't know how it sounds for you guys, but to me, that sounds really emotional for this to have this breathy, breaky sound at the top. It's almost like we can't quite catch our breath. Something is happening that's got us feeling emotional.
Yeah, I feel it emotional, of course, but I feel also that it's well executed. However, I really like this reactor here.
And there's that power of the compression through the sound. I think I mentioned in another video that if you use constriction and compression and it becomes quite pressed, you lose the capacity to involve other colors, at least the colors that come from being able to work with the vowel, because you kind of restricted yourself to one particular form of compression. Otherwise, it doesn't sound consistent anymore, and you'll lose the power that you've just tried to gain by utilizing more constriction in the pharynx. But regardless, we're getting some really interesting storytelling through here with that constriction. So we'll look at the lyrics later, see if it tees up. But for now, that's just something to bear in mind. I've mentioned before with Psyche's vocals that there's what sounds suitable for your style and what is creatively more fun and sounds cool. And then there's looking after your vocal health. I remember you mentioned that she'd had some surgery, I think for nodules.
Oh man, I didn't know nothing about, guys. You didn't tell me she had surgery to her throat? I didn't know.
Nodules, one of the ways you can get nodules, or one of the ways that's suggested that you get nodules, is from phonotrauma. And currently one of the biggest things that we've observed that may contribute towards phonotrauma are things like hard adduction, which is where the vocal folds squeeze together. So along the lines of your press phonation and basically smacking your vocal folds together in a way that is quite hard. You build up a lot of subglottic pressure, which means you actually need more breath flow. They smack even harder. It's kind of like it's a cycle that you keep going through because you want more sound. But anyway, we can dive on into this later if we want. In the comments, you also mentioned that Psyche's had to do a little bit of a rearrangement of how she approaches touring and organizing a concert, and that as a group they've started to make choices so that her voice can sing in the way that she wants it to now and still get through like the whole concert without it hurting her or putting her at risk. I think that's super clever, super smart, particularly if you're in a style which does, like, the ear just desires some of these more taxing sounds, those taxing vocal qualities. So I think that's super smart, super clever. Anyway, let's keep going. That's where we're at with it right now. I am loving the tie-in from the toy piano into the emotional content that she's delivering with her face and her voice at the moment. Of course, I'm going to feel like a goose if I'm wrong on what it's about, but she's making me feel things. I'm just saying what it is.
Yes, I feel the same. I feel a lot of emotion also in her acting.
Anyway, let's keep going.
止まらなくなる不思議で君は抱きしめた外に出れば何でもない二人私だけの願い
Oh, guys, I appreciate also the chorus there by the girl that's playing the guitar so perfectly.
甘く溶けてく飴玉みたいに君もいつかは消えてしまうのかずるい自然と香りだけ残してバタフライ with me 一人きりの夜どこで何してんだろう考えるたびに眠れなくなってわがまま言えないいい子にして待ってるなんてさもう答えが見えてる
Okay, before we...
Guys, now I have to tell you I want to go forward because I really like the review of this girl, but I adore this song actually and I don't want to stop.
Really liked that. Let's go back and re-listen to the phrasing. She's got to keep that energy there as well, which means consistency from here, consistency here. Gotta keep
I like
there,
it,
otherwise
guys.
The tone's gonna vary quite wildly if you can't keep the thing that's making your vocal folds move, and you can't keep the thing that the sound resonates and amplifies in consistent. You're not gonna get the same sound.
Cool reaction with this mesmerizing red girl reacting. Don't you think the same?
Simple as that. So.
一人きりの夜どこで何してんだろう考えるたびに眠れなくなってわがまま言えないいい子にして待ってるなんてさもう答えが見えてる言えない知らない本当は知って掴むことは許されないそっとくれた指先は確かに愛を感じてたのにごめんなんて言わないでくれよ見せて瞳そらすから言えない傷を深めて構ってくまた君に落ちてく
There's another note on when she's going up for those high notes, we get that breakage. The reason why it can be harder to connect through a softer mechanism is if we've used a lot of compression and press to get power and drive through one particular part of our range. It can be hard for our vocal folds to disengage from that to give us like a balanced connected sound up through the upper register. But again, I don't know if that's what she's going for. We are going to have a quick look at the lyrics after whatever is about to happen next, and we'll see what happens.
Guys, I like this transition here. This transition between the voice and again this guitar alone. And I have to tell you, she's doing her best vocal performance here. It is so difficult to sing it all by yourself that way. And I appreciate again that she's singing Japanese.
But yeah, I just wanted to make that note as well, just in case you're like, okay, cool. So you explained how it emotionally connects, but what's actually happening there? And that's what's happening. She's using one particular vocal setup, and it's more of a driving vocal energy as opposed to something that's easy to kind of enter and exit from, because it's so heavily on one particular, I guess, goal. It's hard to like switch out of it. It's kind of like if you load all of your weight into one leg and you're like really putting the weight on one leg to go to the other one. can be harder, especially if the vocal folds are not used to like navigating that quickly. Maybe the other leg is not a good example, but like if your muscular energy is all going into one activity, to suddenly disengage from that activity into another one requires more agility and flexibility than what Psyche's demonstrating right here. But that doesn't necessarily mean that that wasn't her goal, is to have that emotional like breakage to her sound.
Yeah, guys, I'm not so technical like this girl is here. I'm more passionate and I love what I'm listening to.
使わないライター並んでるグラス新しい服も Don't cry 君の抜け殻さ
Okay, perfect demonstration of exactly what I was talking about before. Thank you, Psyche. That's awesome. That's an awesome example. So you might notice how when she went into that particular section there, the voice sounded a lot more open and less like pressed or constricted. That is the kind of setup that would be very easy to navigate up into second register cleanly, to maintain like a balanced phonation between the lighter mechanism approach in her first register there going up into the second register. So that's kind of, I guess, what I was talking about. And as she goes through this phrase, you can hear the escalation of that like driving energy in her sound, of that restriction and compression that's going on in her pharynx. So I would love for us to listen to that again. The vowel work is so much freer in the beginning of this section. I think she would find it much easier to go up to a second register from this particular setup here than the one that she utilizes for the majority of this, which is first register, high energy, almost like a very sharp pointed resonance. It's very strong. It comes across as sounding more powerful, but there's not as much wiggle room for the vowels, and there's a lot of mass going on at the vocal fold level, hard to disengage from when you're wanting something softer with less mass involved. But yeah, let's re-listen to that section, because that is...
Guys, I don't know if you agree with me, but of course here she is more wide open, this girl singing, but I can't really feel all this difference, because all song long to me she was special in singing this one.
Is the perfect example of what I'm talking about when I mean compression and constriction in the pharynx giving you different vocal qualities, but also at the vocal fold level, she's not using quite as much mass here. It sounds a lot more connected and flowy. So I guess you could say she's getting more flow phonation through this particular section, whereas the other style of singing has a lot of character and storytelling and drive to it, but mechanically it'd probably be easier for her to go to second from this particular setup here.
使わないライター並んでるグラス新しい服も Don't cry 君の抜け殻さ終わりの見えない
More drive.
夢を見たいだけ目覚めてしまうの Don't fly 信じさせてくれ見えない知らない苦しいだけだけど知りたい渇望に抵抗できない今だけでいいか
Girl, you stop it too much times, because as you can see, it depends a lot if you get up or if you sit down. Of course, if you sit down, is not so easy to catch out, to express all your voice. It is easier when you get up, of course.
侵食された行け 記憶瞳閉じてまた君に落ちてく
Oh my god.
Guys, for me, thank you girl for reacting with me. A salt and pepper Italian man with red hair, mesmerizing Australian girl. Oh wow, what a couple today. Guys, my opinion is that this was really good, and Psyche, for me, this singer in this situation here, as for me, my opinion, made the best performance, singing performance ever. I feel it. Don't you agree with me? Because it is the most difficult test to sing by yourself, only with an acoustic guitar, sometimes loud, sometimes not, around you. And I appreciate the review of this girl as a vocal coach, but you have to, for me, you have to notice and to talk about a little bit more also to the nice intro with the piano, xylophone-like sound, clarion, and the acoustic guitar job, work, very, very good, very nice. And especially the chorus, the two voices, that was cute during the song. And this nice singing and chorus together. And I like also a lot to hear the Japanese language and some transitions. And also for me, she expressed better herself at the end. But just because then she get up, she was fabulous here, astonishing in singing, for me, my opinion. Guys, you may disagree with me. I'm not, I tell you everything the way I feel about a song. Because when something was not so good for me, I told ya, yeah. But this time I appreciated a lot this performance. So thank you, girl, for being with me in this reaction. Thank you. Guys, and for the live version, I need to catch Band-Maid Puzzle, this live version, but this one is really filthy. So if you have a link, send me and I will react by myself to Puzzle Live Band-Maid, please. A little Italian and I say you goodbye. Ragazzi, ho detto che questa ragazza che ha fatto il video reazione qui perché non riuscivo a trovare il link e quindi ho usato il suo, si è soffermata spesso a dire che in dei momenti era un po' chiusa con la gola e in altri momenti lasciava andare più la voce ed era più gradevole. Io vi dico che secondo me è stata una delle esperienze invece più emozionanti, più travolgenti con loro, perché a me come ha cantato mi ha emozionato tanto, mi ha dato brividi, perché comunque da seduta, da sola con la chitarra acustica è una delle esecuzioni più difficili che puoi fare e secondo me l'ha fatta molto bene, senza parlare dell'introduzione quasi di xilofono, questo piano che ha un suono quasi di xilofono e clarion, la chitarra acustica, i cori, soprattutto le due voci che sono state una cosa dolce, delicata e molto piacevole della canzone. Il cantato giapponese che ha il suo perché, i passaggi, a me è piaciuto tantissimo, secondo me è stata una delle prestazioni che mi ha fatto più innamorare di questa cantante. So guys, see you next time, please send me the link of the live performance, the right one, not acoustic but only live. Ragazzi, datemi il link del live normale loro e alla prossima. Ciao ragazzi, see you next time guys. Band-Maid.